best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Toronto. It is a perfect day for baseball. 24 degrees, lots of activity here at Rogers Center on this Junior Jays Saturday. And the Blue Jays are trying to make it 4 wins in a row. They won the first 2 against Kansas City. And now we're going to take a look at the American League wild card race. Blue Jays and the Orioles 1 game back at that second wild card position. The Yankees have fallen upon hard times. The Astros have taken over the lead in the West, and Minnesota will be here on Monday. So the Blue Jays have some time to make up some hay.
4 big games against Minnesota, but before that, 2 really big ones against Kansas City.
Kansas City has lost 3 in a row. Ned Yost Ball Club, a little bit of a problem right now, but they still have an 8-game lead over those Minnesota Twins. For the Royals, it's Alcides Escobar in the leadoff spot, and he has hit well against Mark Burley in the past. 9 for 23 with 3 doubles in the leadoff spot. And then Eric Hosmer, he is on fire. Look at the numbers for this 13-game hit streak. He's 26 for 52, and I'm not a math major, but that breaks down to 500. And that is a red-hot hit streak. 8 extra base hits and 10 RBIs, and today they'll go up against their nemesis, Mark Burley.
Burley gets ready for his 21st start of the season. You talk about the nemesis. He's faced the Royals more than any team in his career. He's got a .684 winning percentage, which is second best mark, better than a little bit less than the mark that he has posted against Texas. He's won 6 of his last 7 decisions versus Kansas City, including 4 straight. Last time out, Buck, against Seattle, he had a streak of at least 6 innings pitched, stopped at 13 straight innings for Burley.
Here's the first pitch of the game. It is outside, and we are underway. It is 24 degrees on a spectacular Saturday afternoon here in Toronto. Alcides Escobar had a couple of hits in last night's game. Hits this one to Donaldson. Easy play for the third setter, 1 down. Defensively, a little different look in the outfield today. Blue Jays have a left fielder, Ben Revere. Kevin Pillar's in center. Jose Bautista's in right. Donaldson Goins makes his start at short, 29th start for him. And how about crowd favorite Munenori Kawasaki back at second? Swopes at first, and Deanna Navarro and Burley team up today.
Left fielder and Ben Revere. He's played some center field for Philadelphia. He's had 5 assists this season. He doesn't have an error this year.
He has made 57 career starts in left field, primarily a center fielder, but has no problem moving over to left. Ben Zobrist with a 2-0 count. Didn't get the call. Looked like a pretty good pitch. It's now 3-0 to the Royals left fielder. Zobrist playing in his 3rd game for Kansas City. Early delivers a strike, 3-1 now. There's a deep fly ball to left. Zobrist has hit one out to give Kansas City a 1-0 lead. Ben Zobrist, the switch hitter, takes Burley deep. For Zobrist, that's his 2nd career home run against the Blue Jays lefty.
He's got very good numbers against Mark Burley. The whole key to that at bat right there was Burley fell behind 3-0, and he had to come in with a fastball. That gets them off to a good start. Last start, we mentioned it, Burley, he gave up a home run. That also stopped a streak of 4 straight starts for Burley without giving up a home run, on top of 13 straight starts where he hadn't gone at least 6 innings. Then Zobrist touches him up here in the first.
And Burley comes right back with a strike to Lorenzo Cain. Cain's having a terrific season, batting .314. He pulls this one foul. Burley is ahead, 0-2.
That is 3 straight games now for the Kansas City Royals against the Blue Jays, where they have scored in the first inning.
Burley has now given up 14 home runs for the season. Zobrist is 6th of the season. 1-2. Popped up, back behind home and out of play. Pop-ups are going to be a challenge today for both clubs defensively. The sun is bright. It's going to go in and out of the clouds, and it's always a challenge here in this 1 o'clock start in the afternoon. Bright sun, brilliant blue sky, and you've got to really converge on everything in the air. Ball is poked to right. Bautista comes in a couple of steps. Cain's retired. 2 down.
You know, Mark Buehrle has been very efficient and very good over his last 10 starts, and all you have to look to is the numbers. 5-1 with a 178 earned run average. He is going deeper into the ball games, averaging 7 innings per start for Mark Buehrle, and I think a lot of it has to do with his efficiency, throwing fewer pitches per inning.
One of the best in baseball at that. He throws strikes with everything. This is Eric Hosmer, the young first baseman. Mentioned his 13-game hit streak. Buehrle throws a strike. Hosmer 6 for 23 against Buehrle.
If he stays down there where that last pitch is, he's going to be fine.
Ground ball. Kawasaki gets his first chance since rejoining the Blue Jays. So Buehrle gives up a 1-out home run. Zobrist stakes the Royals to a 1-0 lead. There'll be a new leadoff hitter for the Blue Jays this afternoon. Ben Revere, just acquired from Philadelphia, will start things off against Yordano Ventura when we come back. On the Blue Jays bench. Price will start on Monday in the opener against the Minnesota Twins. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup today. There is Ben Revere, top of the order. Right behind him, Josh Donaldson. He's been on fire lately. A 350 average over his last 10 games with 9 extra base hits and 11 RBIs. He had the game winner last night at Encarnacion. Over his last 8 games, he's swinging a hot bat, 10 for 30 with 3 extra base hits and a couple of RBIs. They'll go up against the young right-hander, Yordano Ventura.
Just 24 years old. This is his 16th start of the season. It's been an interesting year for Ventura. He started the year in the rotation. He was sent down, but then called right back after an injury to Jason Vargas. And then he was good his last time out. 7 innings, 6 hits, just 1 earned run, retiring 9 of the final 10 batters. He's got a great arm. And Blue Jays are going to have to dial it up this afternoon.
Ventura's done a good job of retiring the leadoff man. He's held them to a .205 batting average, and it's the challenge of Ben Revere to get on base. Ball on a strike. Revere hits the fly ball to left. Zobrist backs up a few steps, makes the catch. 1 down. Kansas City Royals defensively have committed 59 errors. They had an error in last night's game. It's Zobrist, Cain, and Rios. Cain committed his 7th error in the game last night. Chesler Cuthbert starts at third. Escobar and Infante up the middle. Hosmer, a 2-time Gold Glover, and the Gold Glover behind the plate, Sal Perez for Ventura.
And he's a good one behind the plate. He's won the Gold Glove in the American League the last 2 seasons for this team. He's also thrown out 19 would-be base stealers this year, and he's also had 2 pickoffs. What a target he presents behind the plate.
Big man, and he holds that target, that glove, right in the middle of his body. It looks like a bullseye for the pitchers. Josh Donaldson with the ball on the strike. Donaldson 3 for 5 in last night's game with the big hit in the 11th. Ground ball. Cuthbert gets an opportunity early. Donaldson is retired. 2 up, 2 down for Ventura. Blue Jays don't have an awful lot of experience against Ventura. Bautista 1 for 2 against the right-hander.
Just the second time that he is facing the Blue Jays. Pitched 5 scoreless innings against them last season.
Two outs. Blue Jays had their home run streak snapped last night. First time in 13 games they didn't hit a home run. Ground ball. Easy play for Escobar. 3 up, 3 down for Ventura on 8 pitches. Kansas City, after 1, has a 1-0 lead thanks to Ben Zobrist.
A move that shocked Valencia. The background on it was simple. Ben Revere initially was brought in, and the team thought they'd use him in a platoon role in left field. Instead, now they want Revere to be their everyday left fielder, and because Chris Colabello can play first base and Valencia can't, they believe Colabello's a better option for them, Buck, on the roster. As a result, Valencia is now on waivers and expected to be claimed elsewhere on Monday.
Baseball's a tough business, obviously, but as you get better, some players are going to have to be let go. And Danny Valencia was basically a third baseman. He played in left field, played a little bit at second base, but he became redundant. This is popped up off the bat of Kendrys Morales, and Smoke really battling that sun, but he stays with it and makes the catch.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday about the players. You know, they take a look at everything that's going on with the ball club, and they knew that there were some moves coming. Unfortunately, you know, some guys had to go back down or be DFA'd. Ezekiel Carrera had a great game yesterday and did some great things for the Blue Jays over the last week or so. The catch in Seattle, the 2 big home runs, but unfortunately he got caught in a numbers game.
Sure did. He had a 3-hit game last night, and he has since been designated for assignment. Ryan Tepera was also optioned back to AAA. This is Sal Perez, the catcher. Curveball lifted into center, not that deep. Kevin Pillar is there. 2 up, 2 down for Burley. One thing we know about Burley, he will not let an at-bat affect him personally. He gave up the home run and bounced right back. He's retired 3 straight.
And with that, you see the improved efficiency. Last year, walks per 9 innings was 2. This year, it's down to 1.4. And what that does is it saves pitches per inning. You can see for Mark Burley, it has gone from 15.3 down to 14.1. You do that, you have a little bit more efficient innings. you're going to stick around just a little bit longer. And that graphic we showed last inning shows that over his last 10 starts, he's averaging 7 innings every time he takes them out.
Alex Rios breaks his bat. Goins from behind. Donaldson throws quickly to retire. Rios. Mark Burley bounced back with a 7-pitch second inning. 3 up, 3 down. Encarnacion, Smoke, and Navarro to face Ventura when we come back.
By Boston Pizza. The next one will be Saturday, August 15th, when the Yankees are in town for a 107 start. You can join pregame outside Gate 10 for inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. And after the game, as usual, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Buck?
Always a great day here at Rogers Center on these Junior Jays Saturdays. Lots of kids having a good time. Great atmosphere inside the ballpark as well. Edwin Encarnacion, we mentioned Edwin over his last 8 games is 10 for 30. Swinging the bat much better. He had 2 hits in last night's game, including a double. He scored a run.
The double that he hit yesterday was a very good indication, I think, that he might be ready to break out just a little bit more. It's a fastball in the inner half, and he was still able to hit the ball with authority and keep it fair. He didn't go around the ball and hook it foul. Stayed inside it and drove it down the left field line.
He also hit a line drive to the base of the wall in right. That was a long single, and he really drove that ball well also. Now 3-1 to Encarnacion.
Ventura's got a great fastball. He is just sitting at free and easy 97, 98 miles an hour with good movement.
Got himself into a jam earlier in the season pitching against the Chicago White Sox. They had a bench clearing incident. Adam Eaton had hit a ball and they got yapping back and forth at each other and ended up as a pretty ugly situation. Full count, nobody out. Popped up center of the diamond. Ventura gives way to the third baseman Cuthbert, who makes the catch.
Well, I think for Ventura, he's got the great fastball, but the breaking ball, I think, has got to be very important for him. You can see his first 14 starts, 18% of the time he used the curveball. Look, it goes way up to almost 30% in his last start. That was against Houston when he was dominant. The changeup usage down just a little bit more. So he used that curveball a little bit against the Astros through 7 innings, gave up 6 hits and just 1 run.
He beat Dallas Keuchel in that game, the All-Star from Houston, 5-1 in Kansas City. Second inning has been a problem for Ventura this season. He's given up 15 second inning runs in 15 starts. Justin Smoke had a rough night offensively. He struck out his first 3 at bats, but then hit a double play with nobody out and chased home the tying run. Drives this ball to right. Rios over. Quickly makes the catch. 2 down. 5 straight retired by Ventura.
And no strikeouts. When you throw that hard, you figure there'd be some strikeouts in there. But I think if you're Kansas City, you want to see this. Pound that strike zone with that fastball with good movement. Use your curveball. Use your changeup. Have some quick innings.
This is Gianni Navarro getting the start with Burley on the mound. Navarro for the season, his numbers are down. Remember, he missed over a month with a hamstring injury. That's the fact he's been relegated to a backup role with Russell Martin signed in position here. Inconsistent at bats have led to those numbers for Navarro. Just doesn't get regular at bats.
Tough to keep the timing.
Another ground ball. Escobar has plenty of time. 3 up, 3 down. 6 straight retired by Ventura. Will move to the 3rd. Kansas City with an early 1-0 lead.
Against the New England Revolution, we'll find out tonight as TFC takes on the Revs, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Sportsnet 360.
Should be an interesting match for Toronto FC as they get a chance to debut their new star. Junior Jays Saturday, lots of activities for the kids going on here. Doing some painting. That Blue Jays logo on that young lady's arm. Another good crowd on hand. Last night there were 29,389 in attendance. This is Cheslor Cuthbert playing at third base, making his 6th start of the season, giving Mike Moustakas the day off. Cuthbert is from Nicaragua. He was signed as an amateur free agent by the Royals in 2009. This year in Omaha, he hit .273 at AAA before joining the Royals. 316 at bats. He's just 22 years old.
Born right after the Blue Jays won their first World Series in '92.
Passed Burley, and Goins is there. 1 down. 6 straight retired by Burley.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It is a beautiful afternoon. Mark Burley gave up a 1-out home run to Ben Zobrist in the first. Only run of the ball game so far. This is Omar Infante. Infante in his 14th big league season. He's 33 years old. Started his career with the Tigers. It's a high fly ball to center. Pilar using his glove to shade his eyes. Burley is on a roll once again.
And he's been on a roll since June the 1st. That covers his last 10 starts. Check out the earned run average for Mark Burley at 178. Only Scott Kazmir has been better since June the 1st. David Price, the newly acquired, right behind Mark Burley. Erasmo Ramirez and Lance McCullers Jr. round out the top 5.
Pretty interesting pair of teammates now with Burley and Price in the fold. Talk about a contrasting style for left-handed pitchers. Price is a strikeout artist and throws hard. Burley, of course, the master of finesse.
I was thinking about this today. Do you think they split up the left-handers on purpose? And that's why David Price was scheduled to go tomorrow, but he's going to now go on Monday, and they've stuck knuckleballer in between Burley and Price.
Possibility. This is Alcides Escobar. Mark Burley, for his career, is 50 games over 500. And as good as David Price has been, and he hasn't pitched as long as Burley, obviously, he's 40 games over 500. Base hit through the left side. That will snap the streak of 7 straight retired by Burley. The point is, I don't think we give Mark Burley enough credit for being the great pitcher that he has been throughout his career. This is his 479th consecutive start. And I'm sure David Price has admiration for Mark Burley and what he's been able to do throughout his career.
50 games over 500. I mean, what's the job of a starting pitcher?
Win the game.
Win the game, and he has done that for a long time.
For his career, when Mark Burley starts, his team is 74 games over 500. So when he goes to the mound, players behind him think they've got a pretty good chance to win. This is Ben Zobrist. He hit the home run in the first. And Burley jumps ahead of him 0-2. That's the one thing about Burley. I don't care if we hit it 500 feet. He's going to pitch you the same way the next time. He has an idea what works, and he will change speeds and locate his pitches.
And he will say, hey, you got me last time. I made a mistake. You hit a bad pitch from me, but I'm going to execute my game plan.
0-2. There it is. Burley paints the outside corner and sets down Ben Zobrist. The Royals get a 2-out single and nothing more. Mark Burley gets his first strikeout of the afternoon. Once again, they called strike 3.
That Monday is Russell Martin bobblehead day. There it is. The first 20,000 who show up on the holiday Monday for the matinee against the Twins will get one of those. It's part of the long weekend in the city. On Monday is Russell Martin bobblehead day. And of course, Buck, that will be David Price's Blue Jay debut as well.
Should be a great day to celebrate a lot of things, of course. Russell Martin's having an outstanding first season with the Blue Jays. It will be the first start for David Price in a Blue Jays uniform, and it's a civic holiday afternoon game Come on out and celebrate. Should be a great afternoon. Minnesota in town, first of 4. Kansas City with a 1-0 lead. This will be Kevin Pillar leading things off. First pitch strike from Ventura. Pillar must be relieved after finding out he's going to stay in center field. Bring in Ben Revere, who has played more center field in his career than any of the other 2 outfield positions, but John Gibbons said right away, Pillar has earned the right to stay in center.
And he's right. He's been here all season long. He's made so many great catches. This time he goes down quickly on 3 breaking balls, but he has earned the right to stay in center.
Now batting second base, number 66, Mirunori Kawasaki.
It's Junior Jays this Saturday, and it's all presented by Boston Pizza. Each Saturday at Junior Jays gets to introduce the players. Just one of the many fun activities taking place here on Junior Jays Saturday, presented by Boston Pizza. Munenori Kawasaki back up from AAA. Mooney for the season batting .200 with the Blue Jays. He hit .267 in AAA with the Buffalo Bisons. He is a fan favorite, and he certainly makes sense to bring him back up here with Devin Travis on the DL.
Blue Jays were one shy, I thought, in the middle of the infield. They needed a backup shortstop. They needed those 3 players that they can play between second and third base. If you want to give somebody like a Troy Tulowitzki a day off today, they didn't have a replacement.
There's Travis. He is on the disabled list, and you can bet he's disappointed that that shoulder's giving him trouble again. One and 2. Ventura taking a long time. He's set now. Breaking ball in the dirt. Kawasaki, of course, plays short, second, and third. He can move around for you and do a lot of things. Over the course of his tenure with the Blue Jays, he's gotten some big hits.
Who could ever forget that base hit against Jim Johnson to beat the Baltimore Orioles?
This ball is driven to left. Zobra's back quickly, makes the catch. Kawasaki's retired. That hit you're talking about was a walk-off hit in extra innings when he made that famous speech, "I am Kawasaki, I am Japanese."
I'll tell you, that was a fun day here at the ballpark when that happened.
I think that's Mark DeRosa's favorite moment in baseball. DeRosa was serving as an interpreter, and then Mooney took the interview over.
And he's like, "Why am I standing here? I'm out of here."
Ryan Goins playing shortstop today. He's making his 29th start at short. Ryan is an elite defender. He can really pick it, whether you play him at short or second.
You know, that alone, I think, should keep you in the big leagues if you can defend like that, especially play the middle of the diamond.
You know what it's going to do? It's going to keep him on good teams. Good teams appreciate the value of defense, and if you're an extra man, it looks like Ryan's going to be an extra man. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to play.
Good pitch.
It doesn't really translate for a second division team to really emphasize defense. They go, "Oh, what difference does it make? We don't score any runs. We're not very good." But when you're a contending team, and that's what the Blue Jays have aspirations of, defense becomes very important.
Couldn't agree with you more. And he'll hit enough. He's making adjustments, or he's trying to make adjustments to help and get that batting average up just a little bit. Came up with a big hit yesterday, and I thought the Blue Jays showed a lot of faith in keeping him in the game. They didn't pinch hit for him late.
3-1. Now it's a full count. Ben Revere is on deck in his first game with the Blue Jays. Revere spent 3 seasons with Minnesota, 2.5 with the Phillies, and here he is in a pennant race, and he's excited about it. Ball is sliced down the left side. That's going to reach the seats out of play. You know, and talking about Goins, he reminds me of Brendan Ryan. When you think about Ryan now that he's not an everyday player like he was when he first came up with the Cardinals. He has moved to good teams. Seattle, when they were contending, now with the Yankees, that defense is valued. Bouncing ball. Hosmer backs up a couple of steps. He flips to first, and the inning is over. Ventura retires 9 straight. First time through the order.
Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
No place better to be than at the ballpark on a warm Saturday afternoon. It is a gorgeous afternoon here in Toronto. It's cooled off somewhat. Last few days it's been up into the 30s. Start of play today. Very comfortable 24. Says Lorenzo Cain, a number 3 hitter. Burley jumps ahead of Cain with a strike. Cain is 3 for 9 in the series. He's scored 3 runs, had a double. He's also been charged with his 7th error of the season, which is a big number for an outfielder. This is a fly ball to center. Pilar is there, and Cain's retired.
I think you got fooled on this turf. Again, we see so many teams that come into this ballpark playing on this turf, and the ball just didn't bounce to him. Turf is very slow. It was a base hit to center field. He just whiffed on the ball. But he is a good outfielder.
Says Eric Hosmer as Burley misses with that inside pitch. Mark Burley last season on the 24th of September became the 7th pitcher since 1901 to record 14 or more innings in 200 innings in 14 straight seasons. That hit Burley, and Donaldson is there to make the play. I think that hit Burley pretty hard. The way he's walking around, you don't see him react very often when he is hit, but I think that one got him pretty squarely. He never really gives you any sign whatsoever that he's hurting, but I think this got him pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like it hit him on the inside of that right knee as he turned away from that. He'll kick at times at the ball. Hosmer hits the ball so hard. One more time, yeah, it hit him in that right knee. And you can see the reaction from Burley. You're right, he usually never shows any type of reaction like that or any emotion.
Yeah, they'll give him a time to regroup and get the feeling back. Of course, Burley's never been on the disabled list. He's never missed a start, and he's not about to come out of this game, you can bet. He's a baseball player and a blue-collar one at that. And he's going to throw a pitch or two just to see how he feels.
That should be that landing leg. You want to have a lot of support when you hit that dirt when you're ready to deliver that pitch.
We have seen Burley hit before, but we haven't seen him react like that, and that suggests pretty much that he got hit pretty hard. So now there are 2 outs. Hosmer is retired 1-5-3 on the putout. This is Kendrys Morales. He popped out to the first baseman. I want to go back and clear up that point I was making when Burley got hit. Burley has had 14 consecutive seasons of 200 or more innings, and he joins a very elite group of pitchers in that regard. Consistency. Burley has 14. That puts him in with Phil Niekro, Christy Mathewson, and Greg Maddux. Gaylord Perry and Don Sutton both have 15, and Warren Spahn is the leader with 17 consecutive 200 inning seasons. You know what's unique about that group? All of the others are in the Hall of Fame. Morales lays off that outside pitch. It's a full count.
How many of them are left-handed on your list there?
Just Spahn. Spahn and Burley. This is a fly ball to left. Revere back at the wall, at the track, makes the catch. Ben Revere making his presence known here in Toronto, his first game. He's a natural center fielder. He saves an extra base hit from Mark Burley. And the defense for the Blue Jays has just gotten better with the addition of Ben Revere in left. This ball had a chance to get off the wall, but not with Revere standing in left field. Nice catch in his Blue Jays debut.
Says, look, I like to stay up the middle, opposite field, whenever I get a chance. He said, my game is not really to round the ball. One of his heroes is Rod Carew, who told him, look, as long as you keep your hands inside the ball, hit the ball on the ground, hit line drives, you're going to make a good living and find a lot of hits. Revere said, that's my main focus. Stay up the middle and not react to an inside pitch. All things said, Revere said, I want to be just like Rod Carew, Buck.
Well, that's a pretty good standard to set for yourself. Rod Carew, a .328 career hitter. He is in the Hall of Fame as well.
I'm sure that goes back to his Minnesota days when Ben was with Minnesota. This is what he's going to bring, a little defense in left field for the Blue Jays. They have had their troubles at times in the outfield.
Cuthbert was in at third base. Revere is thrown out. That's 10 straight retired by Ventura.
It's interesting also that the Blue Jays, when they made the trade for Ben Revere, said he's going to platoon in the outfield. And now they have changed that a little bit and said he's going to play every day. Hey, he can hit. And he can do some things for you on the field that's going to help you win. He can steal bases. He can go first to third. You just saw the great defense. And he's a 300 hitter. Why not play every day?
Yeah, he brings an element that the Blue Jays had been missing since the trade of Reyes. That's speed. This is Donaldson. Josh, the third baseman, grounded out to his counterpart in the first. Ground ball, Cuthbert at third. High throw, but plenty of time. Donaldson's retired. Second time he's grounded out the third. Ventura's got that sinking, moving fastball. It's tough to get the ball in the air.
Yeah, he had struggled this season until that last start. Today, you can see it from the first pitch. He's got it going. He's throwing quality pitches with that fastball. He's getting great movement. You saw him hump up on that first pitch to Josh Donaldson. He hit triple digits. He's also got that breaking ball working today.
So here's Jose Bautista. That's an easy 98 with movement. That one hurt. That was diving inside. It tick higher at 99.
You know, throwing that hard and that high miles per hour is one thing, and then getting the type of movement that he is getting is another thing. This time, Bautista just gets a piece of it. That ball dive bombing against Jose and hit it off the back foot.
The movement is very similar to that of Aaron Sanchez. And when Sanchez is pitching out of the pen, he'll throw in the upper 90s with movement, much like Ventura.
So's his curveball. His curveball looks like Aaron Sanchez also.
Bautista drills it down the left field line up against the wall. Zobrist will throw it to second. Bautista's got to hustle back to first. Jose ran it perfectly. Thinking about two all the way. Zobrist made a good play to get it back in quickly. Bautista, the first Blue Jay to reach against Ventura.
You know, that's a play that's not going to show up in the box score right there by Zobrist in the outfield. It's a hanging breaking ball, first of all, from Ventura, and Bautista all over that one. Now he's thinking too right out of the box. He's got his head down, hits the bag, picks his head up, and sees that Zobrist has hustled over there, got the ball back over, and held him to a single.
Good play on both ends by Zobrist and by Bautista. Encarnacion popped out to the third baseman his first time up. Ventura, like so many pitchers we're seeing these days, pitches with an abbreviated windup. So when he moves into the stretch, it's not that much of an adjustment. Encarnacion asks for time from Scott Berry, the home plate umpire. Base hit up the middle. Bautista will turn and stop at second. Back-to-back two-out singles here in the fourth. Second time through the order, Blue Jays catching up to Ventura.
Jose Bautista at second base was trying to bait Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder, into hurrying his throw. This one is timed up by Encarnacion. Fastball, that one was flat right down the middle, and he sends it back through the middle. And then Bautista was trying to get Cain to hurry up as he rounded second base. But Lorenzo would have nothing to do with that.
Cain was rushed last night on a base hit by Tulowitzki, and it forced him into an error. That came in the seventh inning, and that would contribute to that three-run inning. The error by Cain in center. Now Justin Smoke with 2 outs and 2 on. This might play into Smoke's hand, given the fact that Ventura throws everything hard. Smoke's had some trouble with pitchers that have a slower breaking ball or a good changeup.
Yeah, his first time up, he threw 2 changeup the first 2 pitches.
Fine drive to right. That is a base hit off the glove of Rios. Bautista's in to score. Encarnacion goes to third, and Smoke has tied it. Yesai's great numbers with runners in scoring position. 3:43 before that base hit, and Smoke has tied it up.
Looked like a high changeup from Ventura. Pitched him backwards this time. First time up, a couple of changeups, then a fastball, and that is a changeup that is up. And Justin gets on top of that one. Tomahawks it into right field. I thought Rios was going to make a catch, but fortunately for the Royals, he was able to kick that ball in front of him and keep it going back towards the infield. If that ball gets by him, Encarnacion's going to score, and Smoke's going to end up at third base.
Yonder Navarro, the catcher, Bautista with a 2-out single, comes around to score. It's a 1-1 game. Navarro, a very good clutch hitter throughout his career, patient to work the count in his favor. Doing one now.
Boy, it's nice to be able to reach back for a little something extra, isn't it? Like that. 98 with some movement. That ball was going down and away from Navarro. You mentioned that he's a good clutch hitter. That's why. He's not going to swing at those tough pitches when he's got the advantage.
Base hit to right. Encarnacion's in to score, and Navarro delivers. 2-1 Blue Jays. This is a balanced attack.
And he turns on that one. The 2-0 pitch was a 98-mile-an-hour ball that was sinking down and away from him, and it caught the outside corner. He said, no, I'm not going to swing at that one. I'm going to wait for a better one, and here it is. This time down and in, and DeHonor delivers. Base hit into right field.
Kansas City has had the lead early in all 3 games, and the Blue Jays have stormed it back each time. Last night they trailed by 3 twice in the game. You get a sense that everybody on this roster is confident they can win every game. Mark Burley gave up the first inning a home run and nothing since.
It's good to see him back out on the bench. I know he got hit hard. Well, that ball off the bat of Hosmer went back down. Probably got some treatment, maybe got some ice on it, maybe wrapped it up a little bit. It's good to see him back out on that bench.
All of this happening with 2 outs and nobody on. Kevin Pillar, the center fielder. Bouncing ball to third. Cuthbert will go across the diamond, but the Blue Jays have taken the lead. 2 runs on 4 hits. Smoke with an RBI. Navarro drove in the go-ahead run. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Rockies with the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio. Catch the action live tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 1.
What's going on Sportsnet? Make sure you check it out. And the Blue Jays, they are red hot right now, trying to make it 4 wins in a row for the first time since that 11-game win streak. Mark Burley back out to work the 5th. Burley got hit by a hot shot off the bat of Eric Hosmer and took some time to regroup a bit, but he appears to be okay back on the mound. Salvador Perez, the catcher, gets jammed on that 78-mile-an-hour cutter. How does that happen?
You see it right there. You start to swing, and all of a sudden it's moving right on your hands. And you've seen some funky swings against Mark Burley.
It's an illegal pitch. You can't throw it so soft and get so much movement.
He's got the lowest mile per hour, the slowest fastball in Major League Baseball, but he gets the most out of it. Tantalizing, especially for right-handed. Right-handers, you know, you'll be on deck and you're like, I'm going to cream this guy. I'm going to hit this ball hard, and you go up there and he jams you or he breaks your bat and get frustrated.
There was a lefty that pitched with the Minnesota Twins and the Angels for a long time, Jeff Zahn, and he was very much like Mark Burley. Popped up. Smoke out. He calls for it, makes the catch, and the clouds came over just in time to make that play easier.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
I mentioned Jeff Zahn. Lou Piniella was facing him in Anaheim one time. He'd gone 0 for 4, hit 4 weak grounders. He ran down the first base, did a right turn, came back to dugout, jumped up on the top step and looked at Zahn and says, "You know I can't hit you. I know I can't hit you. I don't know why I play against you."
Because he was a good hitter.
Lou was a great hitter, but he couldn't figure out Jeff Zahn.
How many bats did he break?
Oh, he broke bats, tore uniforms up and everything. But that's the kind of guy Burley has been throughout his career. Is one of those guys where everybody runs up to the plate and then you pack your bat back and said, "I'll get you next time."
Yeah, yeah, you will. Frustrating.
1-2 to Rios.
Love to play behind him. Don't want to play against him.
He's a great teammate. Always there for all of his teammates. He's on the bench rooting for them and giving them advice. One hopper to Goins. 2 down. I think one thing Burley teaches his teammates is you got to work hard, respect the game, and take care of your job. All you can do is control what you do. And he never shakes off a catcher. He rarely looks at the base runner at first, and he has more pickoffs than anybody. And he's totally different than David Price in his style and pitches. Here's another off-speed pitch. Goins the shortstop out into left field. Mark Burley. 3 up, 3 down. No problem in the 5th. Burley with a 2-1 lead over Kansas City.
Orioles in the TD Comfort Zone are winners of the TD Dance Cam contest. Now, you may be wondering why Troy Tulowitzki is not starting today. They just want to be cautious with him after the hip surgery that he had a couple of years ago and making the transition onto the turf. They just want that body to react properly from a night game to a day game, Buck. Alex Anthopoulos said no injury. If this was a playoff game, he'd be a go, but they just want to make sure the body gets adjusted to this turf.
That's a great idea, Arash, making sure that he has some time to settle into his new digs. Another thing, Pat, I think when you have a player get traded, there's an awful lot of emotional aspect to it, and it'll wear you down. Kansas City did it with Cueto. They gave him an extra day. They're going to do the same thing with David Price. Give him an extra day. But you have a whole spectrum of emotions after you get traded to a new team. Cueto had never played with another team. Neither had Tulowitzki. And although David Price has been used to it, it's still an adjustment. And I agree with giving him the day off.
You got so much going through your mind. You got, how am I going to get my family here? Where am I going to live? All of these kind of things. It just gives you a chance to exhale. Just let the air out for a little bit. Doesn't mean you got the full day off. You might need him later on to pinch hit. One other point about giving him some time off the turf, day games after night games, and the other thing, I think that's an advantage in the American League because you can DH him instead of playing him in the field. One day you can DH him.
That's a great point, and you can keep his bat in the lineup without having to give him the full day off. Munenori Kawasaki playing in his first game since the 23rd of June. This is his 13th game overall for the Blue Jays this season. 2-2 pitch outside. One thing you know about Kawasaki, he'll give you a good at bat.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do right there. He'll run that count. It seems like every time it's 3-2. And he's going to make that pitcher work.
Another fly ball. This one driven deep as well, but not deep enough as Zobrist was shaded in that direction. Giordano Ventura went down to the minor leagues, and then Jason Vargas took his spot in the rotation. Vargas' first game, he blew out his elbow. Ventura was called back, and you can see it's been a little bit of an adjustment for him. He got off to a decent start. And since he's come back, he's been hit hard, but he's been throwing the ball very well here this afternoon.
Yeah, he looks like the guy for Kansas City who won 14 games last year as a rookie with the American League's 10th best earned run average at 320. And who could forget Game 6 of the World Series that Ventura pitched last season? Won that game and got the Royals to Game 7, which they would lose to San Francisco.
Yeah, he certainly has performed well on the big stage, and a lot of these young Royals really stepped up, and it certainly sped up their maturation process.
You know what I see when I look at the roster for this team, I see a lot of players born in 1989, 90, 91. They're all just coming together. They've got a couple of years under their belt at the big league level, and they're just hitting their prime physically.
Boy, that's a no-no for Ventura. He walks the number 9 hitter to turn this lineup over. That's the first walk he's issued. He walks Ryan Goins. That'll bring Ben Revere to the plate. Revere playing in his first game with the Blue Jays. Since 2012, there are only 2 players in the majors that have 500 or more hits and 125 or more steals. Jose Altuve and Ben Revere.
Well, it's a great stat. That's the missing ingredient, I guess you could say, for the Blue Jays that they were missing when they traded Jose Reyes away. Some speed on the bases, a guy that can play the outfield, also has good defense.
Picked up from the Philadelphia Phillies.
I didn't realize he led the National League in hits last season.
He led the National League in hits. He had 49 stolen bases, and he only struck out 49 times. That's quite a combination. Ball on the strike. Ball in the dirt. Another thing he does, and you can play hit and run with him, is he never swings and misses. Only 8% of his swings result in a swing and a miss. So you want to play hit and run with Goins, he's the man you can do it with.
And here's the situation right here, 2-1. This is the perfect time to put it on if you choose to.
Not here. That ball gets away from Perez. He's acting like it's a wild pitch, and the umpire saying it's a foul tip. And John Gibbons going to come out. Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, he didn't make a very quick signal that it was a foul ball. Perez, the catcher, reacted as if it were a wild pitch, the way he goes back after it. Gibbons arguing his point. Why did the catcher chase it if he thought it was a foul tip?
Well, we'll see. Ball hits the dirt.
Well, I didn't see any contact with the bat there. Looked like it got away from Perez.
The ball obviously hit the dirt. A lot of times umpires will be listening for that double sound, ball hitting the dirt and the glove.
Oh, you know, this is not a challengeable call, but look at the umpire. He just happened to see the ball back behind and assumed it was a foul tip. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead over Kansas City. Fly ball to center. Kane in shallow center makes the catch. 2 outs. Just checking with Jamie Campbell. Joe Kelly's on the mound for the Red Sox, and Travis Shaw is playing third base today for Boston. They have made some changes over there as well. This is Josh Donaldson.
Did you hear what their general manager said about their team? Said it's the end of July. It was made yesterday. He said we've obviously made some mistakes on our roster. We need to make some changes. Interesting.
Josh Donaldson high and deep and way back. Get out of here, ball. Home run. Donaldson's 26th of the season.
Yesterday he got the game winner. It looked like a hanging breaking ball. This time it looks like he's going to turn that pitch from Ventura, just turn it around. Josh Donaldson with another big hit for the Blue Jays. He's got 75 RBIs now.
Just when you think you've got the Blue Jays corralled, somebody steps up with a big swing of the bat. 2-run home run, 4-1 Jays. Bautista goes deep. Another one. Back-to-back jacks.
Blue Jays had their streak of 12 straight games with a home run snap in yesterday's ballgame and said, you know what, it's time to start a new one. And do they ever. Hot pitcher in Yordano Ventura, cruising until Bautista and Donaldson go back-to-back.
That's the 6th time the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back. And you can keep them down for a while, but you can't keep them down for long. For Bautista is 22nd and gives him 69 ribbies. Bautista's last home run 24th of July. This is Donaldson's 2-run shot.
Fastball. He turned it over. And then the breaking ball. This time he's going to try something different to Jose. Throws a hanging breaking ball, and Jose times it up.
Bautista, 2-hit afternoon. Ben Revere says, I like my new team. These guys can hit. Revere was talking about his role on this team. He says, my role is to get on base and let the big guys do their job. And did they ever?
And he's sitting with the big guys. How about that? He goes from Philadelphia with the worst record in baseball to the Blue Jays, who look like they're starting to get hot again.
Encarnacion with the called strike. It's 3-2.
A little bit too anxious. He is called for a strike there.
Full count, 2 outs. There's ball 4. That's the second walk of the inning, second of the game. Justin Smoke got the Blue Jays on the board back in the 4th. He drove home Jose Bautista with the first Blue Jay run.
They've been throwing that a lot to him. Change-ups early in the count. That's what he hit with that base hit you were just talking about last inning, was a changeup, a high changeup that he tomahawked into right field.
Another off-speed pitch. This time the breaking ball. It's 0-2. The Blue Jays have won 3 in a row. Taking the first 2 against Kansas City. One and 2 to the first baseman, Justin Smoke. Smoke with 29 ribbies on the season. He strikes out. The inning is over. But the Blue Jays get back-to-back home runs. They score 3 runs in the 5th to take a 5-1 lead. We'll go to the 6th. And here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
Festivals presented by Bacardi are back. The next one, Friday, August 14th. Before the Blue Jays-Yankees game, a pregame festival will go on outside of Gate 10 with gates opening at 4:30, and there'll be a live performance by special guest Chad Brownlee in the licensed area. The Blue Jays and the Yankees and the Summer Friday Fan Festivals presented by Bacardi.
Always a great evening before you come into the ballpark on those Fan Festival Fridays. Mark Buehrle with the 5-1 lead. He has pitched 5 innings here this afternoon. Misses with ball 2 to Omar Infante. There's a strike. It's 2-1. Fly ball to left. Ben Revere is there. 1 down.
Make your renovation a cut above during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Mark Buehrle has just moved into the all-time top 100s list for innings pitched with that out. He moves ahead of Freddie Fitzsimmons into the 100th spot in innings pitched all-time in baseball. Tremendous accomplishment, and Buehrle is among the active leaders in many categories and wins, innings pitched, and just had a terrific career.
Innings pitched. Get out there. Make your turn. Make your start. Don't miss a start. And throw quality pitches. Do you know in 2004 he led the league in innings pitched? 245 and a third innings he threw one season.
He was the first White Sox pitcher to lead the league since Wilbur Wood did it in 1973. It's a long drought, and Buehrle has been one of the best pitchers in the American League since he came into the game. Buehrle gets off the mound, knocks it down, takes his time, and makes an error. He knew Escobar can run. He knocked it down. It was right there between his feet, and when he rushed the throw, it was up and away at first, and it should be an error on Buehrle, his second error of the season.
Still has time right there. Even though the ball hit him in the heel, it dropped down and dropped right at his feet, and he still had time. But the throw was off target, and you know that really drives him crazy because he takes a lot of pride in his fielding.
Ben Zobrist, 1-for-2 with the home run. He's responsible for the Royals' run. We're in the top of the 6th. Zobrist shoots it down the right side. Long run for Bautista. Is not going to get it. He dives, and it goes all the way to the wall. Escobar will be stopped at third. Zobrist was around second, but he will stay at second. Bautista laid out, but it was beyond his reach, and Zobrist has a double.
Good teams take advantages of mistakes by the other team. The error, and now a ball just out of the reach of Bautista, who's going to try and make a spectacular catch down the right field line. You see Buehrle trying to get that ball to come back to the glove, but now he's got to go back up a base.
So now the Royals threatening to get right back in at second and third. 1 out for their number 3 hitter, Lorenzo Cain. Navarro and Buehrle going to have a chat after that high pitch.
These two are always on the same page right here. I don't know if Deanna was crossed up a little bit on that.
Yeah, it kind of looked like it the way he reacted after he reached for the ball. He kind of took off expecting the ball to be up against the backstop, but they had a chat about it. Get things sorted out. Buehrle committed the error and then gave up the double to Zobrist. And now he hits Cain. So that'll load the bases for the hottest of all Royals hitters, Eric Hosmer. Kane hit by a pitch for the second time in this series. Pete Walker on the horn down to the Blue Jays bullpen. They'll start to stir down there. Liam Hendricks, the first up here this afternoon. Liam picked up the win last night. Here's that cutter that catches Kane on the left thigh.
Kansas City's been hit by a lot of pitches this year. This time that cutter right inside Kane. He gets hit for the 8th time.
They've been hit more than anybody in the American League. Hosmer with a ball inside off the plate. Burley thinking about a ground ball here. Blue Jays infield playing Hosmer to pull. Mighty cut.
Hosmer's thinking about tying up this game with one swing. He comes into this game a very hot hitter for him. There are his numbers in his career with the bases loaded.
Hosmer is 0 for 2 this afternoon. Comes into this game with a 13-game hit streak. Ground ball past Smoke into right. Escobar in. Bautista's going to go to third. To throw to third, not in time. 2 runs come in on the Hosmer single to right. Hosmer extends his hit streak to 14 in a row. Escobar and Zobrist score. Kane goes to third.
Trying to get that cutter down and away. You can see Hosmer times that one up, and he actually pulls an outside pitch hard into the outfield. Kane had to get out of the way, but still had enough to get to third base. And that error really has opened up this floodgates, I think, for Kansas City.
The error on the comebacker committed by Burley. Morales shoots it into right. That's going to chase home Kane. Hosmer is going first to third, and Hendricks Morales has made it a 1-run game. His 73rd RBI of the season.
Boy, that happened so fast. He got the first batter Infante, then had that comebacker off the bat of Escobar go for an error and a runner on base, and then double hit by pitch, single. And now the Royals threatening to tie this one up and go ahead.
Navarro out to talk to Burley. Yeah, and they're just buying some time to see if Hendricks can't get loose quick enough. Remember, he pitched in last night's game. It looked like he just told Dane Johnson he was ready, and now don't be surprised if you see John Gibbons come out. Catcher will go back behind the plate. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Sal Perez, the batter, he has popped out twice, and Burley's going to face him. Ground ball. This should be 2. Kawasaki to Cohen's. Back to first. It is a double play. So Burley bends but doesn't break. He gives up 3 in the top of the 6, but he gets the ground ball he was looking for. Sal Perez, the catcher, hits it sharply, but right to Kawasaki, who flips to Goins. The return throw to end the inning. Blue Jays with a 5-4 lead.
Television and radio for daily coverage, headlines, analysis, schedule, and even some dugout fights. Visit sportsnet.ca/Blue Jays or join the conversation at Sportsnet.
Dugout fights indeed. This is a real edgy team right now. I tell you what, this team has got some character, doesn't it? They had shown that last night again as they erased 2 3-run deficits to win in 11 innings last night, 7-6. They have a 1-run lead here. It's 5-4.
Character and characters on this team. It's a fun bunch to be around.
They go hand in hand. Catcher Deanna Navarro had an RBI single in the 4th. He drove in the 2nd Blue Jay run. Bounces this one over the mound. Escobar coming across from short makes the play. 1 down.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Not far from the shores of Lake Ontario, just a few blocks to the north, we're at Rogers Center. Kevin Pillar's got 0-4-2. Takes his strike. Ventura retired the first 11 Blue Jays he faced here this afternoon. There's another ground ball to the shortstop. 2 ground ball outs here in the 6th. Jose Bautista got a 2-out single in the 4th, backed up by Encarnacion and Smoke and Navarro. 4 straight singles in the 4th after Ventura had set down the first 11 of the game.
And they got back to him again with 4 base runners in the 5th inning. And it looks like those 3 runs that the Royals scored in the top of the innings giving Ventura some life. Working fast and pumping strikes in there again.
Munenori Kawasaki, a couple of fly balls to left. Bouncing ball again over the mound. Infante quickly to first. Quick inning for Ventura. He retires the side in order in the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. Rios will lead things off for Kansas City. The Royals are down by a run to Mark Burley.
First 20,000 fans will get one of those Blue Jays welcome mats. It'll be the finale of the Blue Jays and the Royals at 107, and the first 20,000 fans will get one of those Blue Jays mats. For more information, hit up bluejays.com. Buck?
Thank you very much, Rash. Should be a good crowd on hand tomorrow and Monday for the afternoon games. Alex Rios goes after the first pitch. It's right off the end of the bat. Kansas City scored 3 runs on 3 hits and an error in the 6th to make it a 1-run game. Change up. Foul outside of third. New pitcher in the Blue Jays bullpen, that is Mark Lowe, who is acquired from the Seattle Mariners. And Blue Jays saw Lowe, and Burley says, sit down, Alex Rios. Second strikeout. 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. This is Chesler Cuthbert, the third baseman this afternoon. Burley has held him to an 0 for 2. Check swing tapper up the first baseline. Boy, Burley is something else. He gives up 3 runs, and he contributed to that rally by committing an error on Alcides Escobar. A routine comebacker. He knocked it down and then made a bad throw to first. That started the inning. Then Zobrist doubled. And he comes right back with 2 strikeouts. That is Mark Burley's dad, John, who is here, very proud of his son, of course, and what a career Mark has had. And John has been asked several times about Mark's future. He said, don't ask me. I don't even want to think about it.
He just wants to enjoy the moment, right? We've seen a lot of him this year.
Yeah, he has traveled around, and of course Burley, his contract is up at the end of this year, and Mark won't even address it. He said, you know what, I'm playing. I have a contract. I like playing. I'm just going to play. And some of his teammates are saying, hey, yeah, you're going to stay. You love it here. And you just wonder if all of these acquisitions this week might influence him.
I'll tell you, he's meant a lot to these pitchers. You talk to them on the side, and they go, he's got me in the weight room working out now. I feel as strong as ever.
Well, I think Mark has helped the entire team. He has such an air of professionalism about him. And don't get me wrong, he has more fun than anybody playing the game. But when he's on the mound, he's all business. And when he's on the bench, he's there for his teammates to offer advice. I mean, here's a guy that was a draft and follow guy that was drafted in '98, late rounds by the White Sox. He didn't sign until '99, just before the next draft. This is a pop-up. It's down the right side. Long run for everybody, but Bautista will get there. Mark Burley, after giving up 3 in the 6th, retires the side in the 7th. He's in line for the win. Blue Jays with a 5-4 lead.
$30 in basic TV bundle for only $62.97 a month for the first 3 months. Find out how by calling 1-888-ROGERS-1.
Bridge over the Humber River, not far from Exhibition Place. Lots going on this Saturday afternoon. And the Blue Jays enjoying the 5-4 lead. Ryan Goins, the number 9 hitter. Mark Burley, 7 innings. He has not walked a batter. And if he is done, he'll have walked 1 batter in his last 6 games. And he may be done after 7. I was surprised he came back for the 7th after getting hit on the leg in the 4th and then giving up 3 runs in the 6th.
I think where they were in the lineup, the bottom 3rd. Plus, they played extra innings yesterday. The bullpen, I know they've got 8 arms out there. Maybe give some guys some rest.
6 relievers pitched in that game yesterday. And boy, did they do a terrific job.
Yeah, they might not be available. There might be a couple of arms down there who might not be available. We are not aware of that. We're only guessing. So, Mark Burley giving the Blue Jays 1 extra inning this afternoon is huge.
Aaron Luke faced just 1 batter. Then Bo Schultz worked 2 innings, so he's down. Sanchez worked an inning, only threw 8 pitches. Osuna threw 7 pitches. Cecil threw in the 10th and had a clean inning. And then Liam Hendricks. The bullpen at the end, Hendricks, Cecil, Osuna, and Sanchez all retired 13 of the final batters they faced. Driven to center. Kane can really run him down. He gets there and makes the catch just shy of the warning track. Goins is retired.
Shading Goins that way. Ventura's righted the ship, hasn't he? After giving up those back-to-back home runs.
Donaldson and Bautista going back-to-back in the 5th. This is Ben Revere. Revere made a nice catch to end the 4th. It's the ground ball to second. Infante has it. 2 down. Now it's time for the drive of the game. It's brought to you by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car, 17 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ryan Goins had walked, and he was on first base when Josh Donaldson stepped to the plate and took this fastball from Yordano Ventura out for his 26th home run. With those 2 RBIs, he took over the lead in the American League in RBIs with 75. Josh Donaldson with the drive of the game. That was a huge hit.
Donaldson's career high for homers is 29. He accomplished that last year with the Oakland A's. Just 3 shy of that number now, 26 coming in his last at bat. Ball and a strike, 2 outs. Breaking ball pulled to 3rd. Cuthbert has it. Clean inning for Ventura in the 7th. He has retired 7 straight, but he trails by a run. 5-4 Blue Jays. Mark Lowe will make his Blue Jays debut when we come back.
in Dunedin, Florida. Join Robbie Alomar, George Bell, Jesse Barfield, and many more for the ultimate Major League experience. Now, the package includes airfare, hotel, meals, uniform, and 4 days of baseball. Spots are limited, so check out BlueJays.com/fantasycamp for more information.
Thank you very much, Rash, as we head to the 8th. Mark Lowe making his Blue Jays debut here. Those are his numbers from the Mariners. The Blue Jays sought him twice in that 3-game series out in Seattle, and he was impressive.
Very impressive in that game. That ERA of 1 right there. That is the second best in the major leagues. He has struck out nearly 1/3 of the batters he has faced, 47 of them in 36 innings. Good fastball and a sharp slider. Batter's hitting .235 against Lowe this year.
Alcides Escobar, the leadoff man. No, gets underneath that breaking ball and misses with the ball. Lowe made 2 appearances against the Blue Jays in Seattle Friday night in relief of Felix Hernandez. He threw 1 inning, and then he had 2 innings on Sunday. That's his bread and butter, that hard slider.
He'll pick up a lot of strikeouts with that. He's given up 31 hits in 36 innings this year. He's 32 years old. Last worked a couple of days ago with Seattle when they were in Minnesota.
Ball and a strike to Escobar. He wouldn't chase. For his career, this is the 8th time Lowe has faced Kansas City. He spent his first 5 seasons in Seattle. He was a Mariners draft pick. Overall, parts of 6 seasons with the Mariners, including this one. Spent some time with the Rangers. He and Justin Smoke were actually involved in a trade. Lowe went along with Cliff Lee from Seattle to Texas, and Smoke was the centerpiece of that trade. Two and 2. Fly ball to left. Revere broke back. He's got speed to recover, and he gets there. Lowe retires Escobar to start the 8th. It's interesting with everybody working last night. Sanchez and Osuna had been the 8th and 9th inning guys, but now with the extra arm of Lowe in the bullpen and Hawkins, you might see this Lowe-Hawkins combination this afternoon.
Sanchez and Osuna pitched on back-to-back days. But they didn't throw many pitches like you said, but they're back-to-back days where they got up, they got ready, they got into the game. So you're right. It might be Lowe and Hawkins.
Ben Zobrist has had 2 hits this afternoon, a home run and a double. He's scored a pair. Mark Lowe grew up in Houston, went to the University of Texas at Arlington. That's where he played his college baseball. He's 32 years old, turned 32 in June. And he's had some significant injury problems. He's had a serious elbow surgery. It wasn't Tommy John surgery. It was basically a microfracture surgery of his elbow to regenerate the cartilage. According to Lowe, he was only the 2nd pitcher that's had that surgery, and the other never made it back, and Lowe came back with just 20% odds of pitching again. That was 10 years ago. 2-2, 1 out. Now it's a full count.
Tried to sneak that fastball in there, a little swing back fastball at 97. And it was just off the plate. Zobrist had a couple of hits against him in his career. One of them is a home run.
Slider, and Zobrist gets a piece of it. That's a hard slider with tight spin. Tough on hitters to differentiate between the fastball. Zobrist is a tough out.
Boy, is he ever. I mean, this is one of the reasons why they went out there and they got Ben Zobrist. They gave up a lot. A couple of good minor league pitchers that you might hear about someday. To get Zobrist in his playoff experience, his veteran leadership, his ability to play different positions, and to hit in these types of situations.
Fly ball to right. Bautista back at the track. This ball is gone. Ben Zobrist with his second career home run against Mark Lowe has tied it up here in the 8th. They went with a slider and it got right down about knee high on the inner half, and Zobrist has a 2 home run game.
You know, that's where left-handers like that ball down and in like that, that slider where they can just quicken up their bat, drop the barrel of the bat on that baseball. That's where you give up the home runs. Watch where this ball is down and in. Ben Zobrist with his head straight down just rolls that top hand over and homers for the second time this afternoon.
It's only the second home run that Lowe has given up, and now there's a base hit. This is going to be extra bases. Kane is around at first. He goes to second. His first hit of the afternoon. It's a double to the opposite field.
Boy, this team in the middle of the lineup is as tough as anybody. Kane can hit the ball all over the place and just drills this one by Smoke to right field for extra bases. And now the Blue Jays have an option here. They got first base open and a very hot hitter at the plate.
But behind him, you've got one of the toughest RBI guys in all of baseball, Kendrys Morales. This is a rock and a hard place.
I would put him on just so you set up the double play. If you get a ground ball from Morales, chances are you'll get out of the inning.
Fastball strike. Eric Hosmer with an 0-1 count. Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Kane held back. He's going to be waved home. Revere will go to second, and Hosmer gives the Royals the lead. His third RBI of the afternoon.
Hosmer is swinging a hot bat. We talked about that in the opening. We talked about it when we were talking lineups, and this is why he can hit the ball all over the place. Sometimes he squirts it through the left side, and the speed of Kane scores the tie-breaking run. Small from Lowe is out over the plate, and instead of trying to pull the ball, Hosmer stays right with it, goes the other way.
Left-handers this season have hit .250 against Mark Lowe. Quick visit by the pitching coach, Pete Walker, and loop loosening up for the Blue Jays. They're playing the shift now with Morales at the plate. Donaldson has gone over into the second base position from third. Goins stays put at short. Kawasaki is up the middle near second base, and Donaldson is in the hole against Morales.
Just so the regular guys, the shortstop and second baseman on a ground ball, will be handing the pivot at second base.
That's fouled off Navarro. Kansas City scored 3 in the 6th off Mark Burley. That made it a 5-4 game. Zobrist tied it up. His second home run of the afternoon here in the 8th. That's his 5th multi-home run game of his career. These two ball clubs have gone back and forth throughout the 3 games in this series. Kansas City, the reigning American League champs.
You know, they're not going to lay down on everybody. They're going to come out here and try and stick it to you. The Blue Jays have something to prove also.
Ground ball, that's through the shift. Hosmer will head to third. Bautista doesn't have a throw. Goins was racing with Hosmer to get to third after being up the middle in the shift. Morales has his second hit of the afternoon.
Boy, this is exactly what happened the last time these guys came up for this team. Zobrist, Kane, Hosmer, Morales, they all came up with base hits. They do it again here in the 8th inning. Even through the shift, Morales is able to get that ball by Kawasaki into right field.
So Morales is lifted in favor of the pinch runner. Gerard Dyson has taken over at first, and he can fly. He won't wait around. He can steal a bag anytime. Dyson 18 for 19 in stolen bases.
What a weapon to have on your bench. Last time up, Salvador Perez hit into a double play to end that inning. That's why you put the speeder right there. Stay out of the double play.
Perez, the catcher, is 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play in the 6th. You've got to believe that Dyson's running right here. You got to count in the hitter's favor, 1-0.
I think he's going. He's got a big lead over there at first base. He kind of flinched a little bit when Lowe threw over there.
There he goes. Ball is fouled off. Boy, there's just a time as a hitter when you've got to take a pitch. And that was the time. Perez is a free swinger. The ball was inside. It wasn't a great pitch to hit. Dyson got a terrific jump. Don't you want to hit with 2 men in scoring position?
Sure. So you take a pitch, even if it's a strike. You can't hit with 1 strike. He's going to steal that base. Now it's a little bit tougher with a count of 1-1 for you to take a pitch.
There's a fly ball to left. Revere, the left fielder, tagging at third is Hosmer. Here's the throw to the plate. It's a good throw, but late. As Sal Perez delivers the sacrifice fly. It's the second 3-run inning for the Royals of the afternoon. They have extended their lead to 7-5. Right now with 2 outside, pitch out twice in a row. Dyson is in there to run. Royals have to gamble. They're already up by 2.
You know, and as a hitter, if you know the guy's going to run, go early in the count. So I got some pitches to work with as a hitter. You're getting ready to go.
Not running here. Ball is inside. Kansas City had a 1-0 lead in the first. Ben Zobrist with his first of 2 home runs this afternoon. Blue Jays took the lead in the 4th, added to that in the 5th. It was 5-1. Kansas City scored 3 in the 6th, made it a 1-run game. Zobrist has had a 2-homer and a double this afternoon. There goes Dyson. Navarro's throw, quick and in time. Deanna Navarro has really thrown the ball well. Gerard Dyson caught for just the 2nd time this season. He's thrown out to end the inning. But Kansas City has taken a 7-5 lead with 3 runs in the top of the 8th. Good tag by Kawasaki. Strong throw by Deanna Navarro. Dyson is gunned down. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.
it be enough? Find out in a new episode of The Strain, Sunday at 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on FX.
We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Jays are down by 2. And they'll have to deal with Wade Davis. He has been nearly unhittable this year. Davis leads the majors with a 0.41 ERA.
You know, we were talking about Mark Lowe was second with an ERA of 1. Here's the guy who's first right here, 45 games. Wade Davis is 7-1 with a 0.41 earned run average. He's only given up 2 earned runs in his 43 2/3 innings. Hard fastball, hard slider. He's not allowed a home run over his last 124 2/3 innings.
Blue Jays have scored 1 of the 2 runs off of Davis this season.
Well, they'd like to see another one of these right here. This is Jose Bautista right after the Josh Donaldson home run in the 5th inning. First pitch swinging on a breaking ball. He goes back-to-back with Josh. Put the Blue Jays up 5-1.
I asked Drew Butera, the backup catcher for the Royals, why Wade Davis was so dominant. He said he has terrific location. He can command his pitches, and he has an approach in his mind, and he never gives in to that. He sticks with his game plan. There's a drive to left field. Zobrist back. This ball is carrying and gone. Bautista 2 homers. That's the first home run Wade Davis has given up this season. The Blue Jays have scored 2 of the 3 runs he's allowed all year.
His last home run was almost 2 years ago. September of 2013. That's a club record for relievers. Well, that's over thanks to Jose Bautista. Pulls the Blue Jays to within 1.
Edwin Encarnacion. The Blue Jays have already gone back-to-back once today, back in the 5th.
Fastball out over the plate.
For Bautista, that's his 24th career multi-home run game. The 3rd this season. Home run number 23 for Jose. RBI number 70. Ball into strike. Fly ball to center. Kane back on the track at the wall. Caught by Kane. Encarnacion just missed it.
Wade Davis was unavailable yesterday. Tried to throw in that bullpen, and he has a stiff back, he said, so he was unavailable for yesterday. He's given up a home run and a long fly ball to center field. The bench thinks that he got it, but it's just short. Wade Davis enjoying that as they haul it in at the wall in center field. I wonder if that is affecting him getting the ball down, if his back is bothering him.
Now he has given up a home run for the first time this season. This is Justin Smoke. Smoke is 1 for 3. He goes after the first pitch. That's a fair ball. Davis is there at first, and Smoke's retired. 2 down. Wade Davis will work to Yanner Navarro. Navarro has an RBI single today. Davis and Navarro were teammates in Tampa Bay. Cut on and missed. It's 1-1. Pat mentioned the home run breaks a long drought for hitters against Davis. That's the first home run allowed by Davis in 125 2/3 innings, going all the way back to August 24th, 2013.
Oh, he's got a good fastball, breaking ball, and he's cutting the ball a little bit more this year. A la Mariano Rivera, that one pitch to Navarro got right underneath his bat. He's an intimidating guy.
He's a very good pitcher, having a great year. But I don't think there's a pitcher in the game that intimidates the Blue Jays lineup. I believe they have a bring it on mentality. 2-2 to Navarro. Ball 3. Kevin Pillar on deck. The Blue Jays have Troy Tulowitzki and Russell Martin on their bench. Foul outside the bag at first. Martin on the bench. Tulowitzki getting loose. He's got his hitting gloves on. Kawasaki and Goins after Pillar. Sounds like it broke his bat as that ball was inside. May have been that cutter again.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty right there. Just tracks you right above your hands. Ideally, you'd like to get that ball on the barrel. Wade Davis's job to keep it off the barrel.
Wade Davis went from Tampa Bay with James Shields for a bunch of prospects. Mike Montgomery, Will Myers, Jake Odorizzi from Kansas City to the Rays. A good trade for both. Shields was included in that trade with Wade Davis. Elliott Johnson was also involved in that trade. Good trade for both teams.
And Wade Davis at the time was, okay, well, they got Wade Davis. Well, they put him in the bullpen, and he's been lights out. He's an all-star.
Made the all-star team this year as a setup pitcher. Another 3-2 pitch to Navarro. Right back to the mound. Davis will underhand to first. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays inch closer. Jose Bautista, a 3-hit afternoon. A 2-homer day. 24th time in his career he's had multi-home runs in a game. He's made it a 1-run deficit for the Blue Jays.
live or on demand in True HD with real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. MLB.TV Premium includes a free at-bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available at BlueJays.com.
Quite a ball game, quite a series we have had here between the Royals and the Blue Jays. Liam Hendricks picked up the win last night to improve to 3-0. He pitched the 11th and retired Kane, Hosmer, and Morales in order.
Didn't get the ball out of the infield against Liam Hendricks in last night's ball game. That pushed his record to 3-0 with a very good ERA of 2.58. How about that bottom row there? 46 strikeouts and just 6 base on balls this year for Liam.
Rios goes after the first pitch. Pilar says, I got it. And he does. Mark Burley, another good outing here this afternoon. He gives up 4 runs, 3 earned runs on 5 hits over 7 innings. He didn't walk a batter. He's had 1 walk in his last 6 starts, struck out 3. And he left in line for the win. But the Royals scored 3. And they have taken the lead. Mike Moustakas will bat here with 1 out. Moustakas batting for the third baseman, Chesler Cuthbert. This is a 2-fold move. Moustakas is a terrific defender in this 1-run game.
Makes a lot of sense. You got the right-hander on the mound. Bring in the left-handed hitting Moustakas.
Moustakas is 0 for 9 in the series. He's gone 2 for 22 on this road trip. Cleveland and Kansas City, or Cleveland and Toronto for the Royals. He's 0 for his last 10. Hendricks with a ball and a strike on the pinch hitter Moustakas. Hendricks needs to throw up a 0 here in the 9th. The scheduled batters for the Blue Jays, bottom of the 9th, Pilar, Kawasaki, Goins. Remember, Tulowitzki, Colabello, and Martin are all big bats on the bench.
All sitting on the bench, ready. They'll face Greg Holland, I'm sure, in the 9th.
There is Holland, the closer for the Royals. Holland is 22 for 25 in save attempts. Russell Martin on the bench along with Tulowitzki and Colabello. He hit him. Moustakas gets hit on a 2-2 pitch. The second Royal to be hit here this afternoon. Kane was hit by a pitch and scored in the 6th.
That looked like a cutter, something that he was trying to run in under the hands of Moustakas, and they're going to give him a minute here to try and shake this one off. It hit him right in the thigh. See on top of it, rolled that one off his fingers. Obviously he wasn't trying to hit him. With a 2-2 count, just got away from him.
So now Omar Infante, the second baseman, 0 for 4. Excuse me, 0 for 3 this afternoon. Hendricks gets ahead. You mentioned Hendricks throwing a lot of strikes, not prone to giving up a lot of base on balls. Oh, and 2. Kansas City has lost 3 in a row after winning 4 straight. They took the first 2 games in Cleveland and lost on Sunday.
still 20 games over 500. Kansas City.
Comfortable lead. They lead by 8 in the Central.
Best record in the American League.
That loss in Cleveland, of course, was Wednesday afternoon. They got beat 12-1 by Corey Kluber. Fonte strikes out. 2 down for Hendricks.
Liam is racking up the strikeouts this year. It's time he goes out of the strike zone to get Infante for his first strikeout of the afternoon. That ball goes down. And let Navarro dig that one out.
Alcides Escobar had maybe the most pivotal at bat for Kansas City in the 6th when he reached on a Burley error that led to a 3-run 6th inning and got the Royals back into the ball game. Hit a comebacker. Burley knocked it down but made a high throw to first. Escobar would reach and later on score in that inning. Scored the first of 3 runs in the 6th.
Felt like those 3 runs also gave a second win to the starter Giordano Ventura for Kansas City till they went to the pen last inning.
Two and one. 37,932 in attendance at Rogers Center. Trying to rally the home team here in the top of the 9th. Close out this half inning. Ball is driven to center field, not that deep. Pilar backs up, makes the catch. Hendricks does put up a 0 in the top of the 9th. That keeps it a 1-run game. Greg Holland will come on to face the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have pinned the loss and a blown save on Holland in the past. Pilar, Kawasaki, Goins, the scheduled hitters. His 34th appearance. He's 22 for 25 in save opportunities, and he's a tough customer.
Yeah, he is. He throws a lot of strikes. He's a strikeout type of pitcher. He's also been very good against the Blue Jays in his career. They're hitting just 205 against him. There's Mike Moustakas, who stays in the ball game and takes over at third base. Greg Holland is 4 for 5 in his career against the Blue Jays in saves. You mentioned that one time where he blew a save against them.
Kevin Pillar leadoff man here in the ninth. Inside. What makes Holland so tough?
Well, he throws hard, and he's got a good breaking ball. Throws strikes, pounds it, really steps towards first base. You see guys who throw across their body. This guy throws with a wide open stance.
Pilar fouls it back out of play. You would think that would give the hitter a long look at the baseball, but he still hides it fairly effectively.
Comes right over the top with that fastball and breaking ball.
Two balls and a strike. The Blue Jays need a base runner.
A lot of options for the Jays on their bench this afternoon.
Troy Tulowitzki ready to hit. There's that hard breaking ball. It's 2-2 to Pilar. Pilar hangs tough and fouls off the breaking ball. Holland's not a big guy. He's listed at 5'10", 200 pounds, but he gets the most out of it. He's a 10th round draft pick by the Royals. 47 saves in 13, 46 in 14. Bouncing ball up the middle. Infante near the bag at second. One down. Troy Tulowitzki will bat for Munenori Kawasaki. This will be just his 7th pinch hitting at bat in his career. He's a regular. This is an unusual situation, but they gave him the day off.
Just like any other at bat as a pinch hitter, go up there. You got 3 strikes. Use all of them.
Tulowitzki is 1 for 1 against Holland. A home run. Good breaking ball on the outside corner.
Hits by direction. You see Troy Tulowitzki likes to get the bat head out and yank that ball to left field. He got a base hit in yesterday's ball game to left field to start that rally. Looking for something to pull again.
Another slider in a good spot. Holland jumps ahead 1-2.
That's what makes Holland so tough. You can't just sit on the fastball, or you just can't sit on a breaking ball. He's got 2 of them that he can throw at any time. And it's pretty nasty. Throws hard.
Lays off that pitch down and away. That'll even the count at 2-2. Chris Colabello has grabbed the bat. He's out on deck. He'll hit for Ryan Goins. Tulowitzki with 13 home runs for the season. In a home run in his Blue Jays debut. Stays alive.
Boy, that was a pitch to hit right there. He made a mistake. He threw him 3 straight breaking balls and then tried to slip that fastball by him and missed.
piece of it. Tulowitzki played college baseball with Marco Estrada at Long Beach State. They were teammates. They also had Evan Longoria on that team. And Estrada told me this morning, he said, we haven't really seen Tulowitzki yet. He hasn't loosened up yet.
The real Tulowitzki. The real Troy Tulowitzki. He's new to the team.
Brand new.
Takes a while to get used to your new teammates.
Off the plate. Working him away. It's a full count. Cranked it up to 96. Tulowitzki fouled it straight back.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to challenge you with a fastball. Here it comes. Let's see what you can do with it. And Tulowitzki just misses it. Just fouled it back.
We'll do it again. Ball. What an at bat. Holland against Tulowitzki. Maybe the best matchup in sports, one-on-one. Great closer. Good hitter.
Ninth inning of a one-run game. It's been a great series.
Colabello will bat for Ryan Goins. So the shortstop and second baseman are out of the game.
Right.
Colabello pinch hitting. He's 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this season. Well, he always swings early.
He saw a lot of pitches while he was on deck. It was a 10-pitch at bat by Troy Tulowitzki. And Troy saw everything, and so did Chris Colabello sitting on deck.
One out. Base hit to right field. Tulowitzki goes to second. Colabello delivers. Can they pull off some more magic?
Fastball after a breaking ball for strike one, down and away. It looked like he was trying to get the double play, but Colabello said, I'm going to go right with that pitch and single into right field. Tying run now is in scoring position.
Ben Revere in his first game with the Blue Jays, 0 for 4 so far.
They're going to have to pick up where the outfield is playing now. Revere versus Holland. They're very shallow, and they're pulled around to the left. You can see that huge hole in right center field.
Ground ball. Infante to second for one. That's all they'll get. But now there are two down, and guess who's coming to the plate?
Last night, Josh Donaldson was the hero. This was off of Franklin Morales with the runner at second base. He singles in the game-winning run for the Blue Jays. Another walk-off hit for Donaldson. He has had the most walk-off hits in Major League Baseball over the last few years. 9
walk-off hits for Donaldson. The next one, Freddie Freeman and Paul Goldschmidt. They have 5. Tulowitzki, the tying run at third base. Revere at first. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul. Donaldson last night, after Tulowitzki was advanced to second on the bump, drove a ball to right center in that big spacious alleyway. They have given him that gap again.
His whole thing right now, he's going to have to stay on that breaking ball. That's what Holland's going to try and use, I think, to get Josh Donaldson out. A gapper, and you've got some speed at first base in Ben Revere.
Tulowitzki at third. Two and one. The Jays don't chase. Ball. Moustakas at third. Ball game. Holland closes it out. The Blue Jays made it interesting in the ninth, but they fall short by a run. Holland picks up his 23rd save of the season, and the Royals win it 7-6.
You know, the series has been great, back and forth. The Blue Jays can still win it tomorrow, but never say die. They go back at each other, back and forth. That's why I think the bullpens are going to be very important tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Edinson Volquez against R.A. Dickey in the series finale. The Blue Jays lead the series 2-1. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.